Welcome to the What I Meant to Say podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Jones, and I started these conversations because life doesn't give us do-overs. So this is a space where we get a chance to reflect and tell our story again, with more grace for ourselves, and hopefully make us all better for having listened. Today I'm talking with Savvy Simo, UCLA beach and indoor alum and rising star in the AVP. As much as I love watching her play, Savvy is one of those people that's even better to talk to. She is humble, a mad competitor, and talks openly about her lifelong struggle with anxiety so she can help others. Savvy is a down-to-earth athlete that shows us that kindness and humility go hand in hand with being great. She's also one of our Be Better featured athletes. Thanks for joining me today, Savvy. All right. We got Savvy Simo here on the What I Meant to Say podcast. I'm so excited. We're both straight off the beach. We got Jason here.
Sandy, sorry for bringing sand into the house.
No, I know, me too, but it's appropriate. So, so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you for having me. I've been waiting for this, and talking to you before was it got me excited just to share my story and to help you with what you're doing and just make sense.
Well, I love the volleyball. One of my favorite matches from last season was watching you and Zana in Manhattan Beach. Fun, yeah. I mean, that was just like, I had missed the qualifier, the end of that qualifier, and then I looked and I'm like, oh, her name's not on here, and then I came over to the court and I was like, wait, what's going on over here? So I stopped and I'm like, oh geez, those are my favorite stories that just rise up and take the opportunity, and
it was so
much fun.
It was awesome.
As much as I love the volleyball, it's always like the story behind the volleyball the success behind you that I just love to dig into. So tell me a little bit about where you came from. I was reading this morning that your dad was a NASCAR driver, and the way that we raise our kids, like, it just plays so much into your journey. So
yeah, for sure. So I was born and raised in San Diego. I'm the oldest of three. I have a younger brother, younger sister, and my dad, so he owned the company called No Fear, which was like the apparel for motorcycle gear and stuff like that, and it was awesome. So we lived in a great spot. And we grew up with, like, chickens and goats and horses. Like, that was how I was raised. And my grandparents owned a cattle ranch. So we'd go up there all the time. So I was, like, competing in not horse shows, but, like, rodeos, like barrel racing.
Oh, and right on.
Like, I did that when I was younger with my grandpa. And then I'd go on the beach all the time. So I had, like, the best of both worlds. Like, the beach and the mountains. It was amazing.
I love, this is why my dad was a team pinner. And
no way.
Yeah, so I grew up that way. And then I got to the beach and was like, I might need to stay here.
So my mom grew up in Arcadia, and they had horses and stuff, and so she grew up with that lifestyle, and it was the more, gnarly lifestyle and, hardcore type of stuff. And versus my dad, he grew up, he was one of five, and they were kind of on their own, and so he left home when he was 15. Started working, and got into motorcycle racing, which eventually led to NASCAR. And then my mom, she went from Arcadia, and then she went to San Diego State and played a bit, and then started playing beach. And so I have, like, the beach volleyball, and then my dad, he wanted to do sports, it just didn't, with his family situation, just didn't work out. He couldn't do organized sports, so he got into more of the motorcycle engine type of stuff and went on to do NASCAR, and he retired when I don't know how old I was. I don't really remember going to any of the races, but I was there. I'm in the picture. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think that their parenting styles are based off of how they were raised. So they came together. My dad, he's all about, like, he's super mellow because he didn't have much parenting, but he didn't get into much trouble either. Like, he somehow managed to stay out of trouble. So his whole thing is, I trust you. I'm going to let you do your thing. And I'll be there to guide you and support you when you need. Versus my mom, she was raised more cutthroat and more gnarly with the ranching and stuff. So she's more hands-on, and she wants to be totally involved and wants to know what's going on. So I love both of them for that. And I think that I came out right in the middle somewhere. I have a lot of my mom's fire, but then I also can be chill like my dad is, which helps, like, with partners and not being on the court. You have to be able to accommodate with. I want to be the most flexible partner, not only physically, like playing left or right or whatever, but as a teammate and as a partner, emotionally and mentally. And, like, I want to be able to communicate with them and do all these things, because that's, something that's been so important to me and what I think has helped me throughout my journey at UCLA and now moving forward.
Yeah, absorbing that energy, like from a partner when there's only two people on the court, right? I mean, I just, I definitely sense that in you, and I loved the first time we met up, and I was like, oh, yeah, the ranching background makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
so.
And I just think too, like, I play my best when I play with someone that I have good chemistry with, someone that I get along with. If they're, I will accommodate. If someone wants me to fire them up, I'll get fired up. If someone wants me to be more mellow or they're more mellow, I'll be a little more chill.
Do you feel like you play better in one of those states, or like do you kind of have?
I need to be fired up. I think like not super crazy, but if I play super flat, I feel like my energy emotionally affects my energy physically as well, and I'm not like all the time outbursts of energy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm doing my best when I'm cheering my partner on, or they're cheering me on, and like if I'm in a rut, I want my partner to like. I don't need a ton of support, but just get me going, get the energy going, because I feel like when we get energy, that helps me like make an extra play on defense, or like you get up, jump higher, and crack one even harder, which is what I love to do. But I want to accommodate for my partner as well, and I'm not going to come in and be like, I need this, 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 and this. Especially right now, I'm so new in my career. I want to be the most flexible. But I've just noticed that if I have good chemistry with someone and we have a lot of the same qualities and we can have fun off the court, I think that's really huge.
Oh,
really,
so
really
huge. Yeah, I mean, that goes back to like what I still love about being out there this morning is that in the end, it comes down to these relationships and friendships 100%. That we make. So even though you've got 2 national championships at UCLA, tell me a little bit about your college career and some of the highlights.
Yeah, so I mean, you graduate high school and you're like the best on your team or the top, whatever on your team. And you go somewhere like UCLA and you're like, I'm going to go play all the time and I'm going to dominate. That's not always the case. So I went, I played indoor and beach at UCLA. So my first indoor season, like, I played here and there, DS, hit a little bit, not really. And then I went and played beach, and I was doing well on the beach, and then I injured my back. So I've had back stuff like herniated discs, degenerative discs, and so I couldn't play for a big part of the season. I was in like the 2-3 spot, and then I was out for a bit, and then they worked me down to like the 5s. And so I ended up competing in the 5s in Gulf Shores, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But my freshman year, I think it was, I got suspended my freshman year because I cheated on a test. Like, it was a good, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know that, but I cheated on a test. Like, I'm human. Sorry, I did, and I got caught, and I was suspended from sports for 6 weeks. And that's something that I look back and it's funny now, but they ended up cutting it short to 5 weeks. So I was suspended right when winter quarter started up until like right before my first game started, and like Stein was livid, understandably. It was not good, but
however, a super age appropriate, like it happens, it's so common, and it's not stupid. Okay, but like, what do you take from it?
Yeah, well, I was stupid, and I learned a lot from that, but I also think too, like I had such a hard time going into that freshman year and not playing that I kind of was like, why am I even playing? This sucks. And I was so miserable. And then I actually had 5 weeks away from it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I miss it so much. And I honestly I am a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
And I made a stupid mistake that I learned from, but if I didn't have those 5 weeks to just go be a freshman and go party and like go be dumb and do my thing, I don't know if I would have been where I am today. I think I needed the time. Like, playing both sports, I never had an off season, and I'm a social person. I love making connections with people on and off the court, and I think that was very eye-opening to me. I'm like, I don't want to go party all the time and do it here and there. It's fun, but I want to be on the court. I want to compete. I want to be with my teammates. I want to go lift, and I want to get better. Yep. And it was so hard to improve when I had to go work out by myself, and I couldn't go in the locker room and all these things. So I look back and it's hilarious, but I learned from it, and we all are going to make our mistakes, and I'm sure I'll make several more mistakes in my life, but it's funny now, but I think it was an important part of my career. Yeah. And then I went on, and the beach season was interesting, and because I was injured, but I was motivated and I wanted to be there. Sophomore and junior year indoor season, me and Zana competed a bunch. she's obviously an incredible athlete, incredible volleyball player. So we went back and forth. She played libero more than I did. I was a DS-ish. And so again, with the indoor thing, I was like, what is my purpose? I want to be an outside, or I at least want to play all the time. I want to feel like I'm contributing. And so my role was different. Like, I needed to be louder on the bench and be more supportive and do these things. And when I'm playing at practice, it was the A side and the B side. When I'm on the B side, my goal is to fire them up and take down the A side. But it was a different mindset than what I was used to. So that was very interesting. But then, sophomore year, me and Zana were partners. And we competed. We were together, and we won a national championship together. And we were super successful together. And junior year, same thing. I was in the fours. I wanted to be in a higher spot, but you do what's best for the team. And so a lot of what I learned at UCLA was, it's not always how you imagine it to be, but I wouldn't trade my experience one bit. I would play both. I would go to UCLA again. I would sit on the bench. I would have the nights where I'm upset about not playing more, and because of the friends I made and the connections I've made and the lessons I've learned on and off the court. And obviously in beach we were so successful. Like it's something I can't even explain. And then my senior year, I got to play outside. They finally needed me as an outside, and it was like the most fulfilling thing. I'm like, I love volleyball because defense is super fun, but like hitting the ball is way more fun. Yeah, so that was really exciting for me. And then obviously COVID year happened on the beach. I was like, do I go back? Do I not? And I'm really glad I did, because as hard as it was to be a college athlete during COVID, yes, we were outside, but we still had so many restrictions. We weren't supposed to hang out with anyone outside of our apartment. So it was just like, it was crazy.
So
for
stressful.
Me, I go nuts.
Yeah. No, so stressful. And I've watched that with other athletes, my own kids. Yeah. I'm like, just the things that you're having to make decisions on that make literally no sense, because you're like, wait, I was just with them in practice and now I can't, or whatever it is. Yeah. It's so hard.
And we tried to do something like at my apartment. We were like, let's have just the team and our managers outside at my apartment. We'll hang out on a Saturday, and the cops called on us because LA was in the hub of COVID. Right. And they're like, there's too many people outside. And it was this whole thing when we were just trying to do a team bond. You couldn't do a team bonding during COVID. And I think that's why my fifth year was so hard, is that I was one of there were other seniors, but most of them, I think all of them actually went on to do another year. They're all either at UCLA or elsewhere. Mm-hmm. I can't really remember. I know I was the only fifth year that had been at UCLA for 5 years. So I had seen it and been through the program. And so I felt responsible to take charge and be a leader. And it was so hard to do that because I'm like, I want to be inclusive and I want to go do all these fun activities. And we couldn't. And that was so hard. And I think is what made it so hard for us during season. And like, I want to go bond with my partner, but I'm not even supposed to go in her apartment, and I can't go have dinner with her. That's the stuff that's crazy. We can only bond on the court, and my whole thing is being close, or at least have a good relationship off the court as well, and we couldn't really do that. You can't
do that in isolation.
Yeah, and I think we did an amazing job. USC had an incredible lineup, and we had beaten them before. We beat them in Pac-12s. It just didn't work out that day. We went through loser bracket. We were exhausted, and that's just kind of how it went. Yeah. But again, as much as I wanted to win 3 national championships, 2's pretty good. Yeah. And I'm content with, and I learned a lot. Like, I've learned so much more. The years we won during the beach, they were a blur. I don't really remember. We just won, so it was amazing. But all the seasons I played 9 seasons at UCLA of volleyball. Wow. And I learned so much more through those seasons where either the team wasn't that great, or I had a slump in my game, or it was really challenging for me trying to lead a team and feeling alone, or not feeling like I can be the true full leader that I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. We couldn't include everyone, and we couldn't even hang out with the coaches and do stuff where every year we'd do a team bonding stuff. So it was interesting, but I wouldn't trade it. I'm glad I went back because I was able to go lift weights and go practice during COVID when a lot of the pros couldn't.
Absolutely.
So we all had an advantage going into the summer. We had been training. We had competition, lifting, everything, where a lot of people couldn't even go on the beach. Yeah. So that was a huge advantage for us going into the summer, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I think, the stories you're telling and learning to lead from those more unorthodox positions, I mean, that for the long haul is such a huge lesson, because it's easy when you're on top, right?
Exactly.
But to be leading from the bench, or to be that kid that realized, I always say, I think everybody, especially any athlete or competitor, realizes that point when when you know like how many people are better at you, better than you at that one thing, you know, and it's so huge to like figure out your path and say, you know what's unique to you and then share that rather than beat yourself up and, you know, like figure out the way through that's unique to you.
I think people, when they imagine a leader, they imagine like the captain of the team and the person who plays all the time. But like, you can lead by example in the weight room, even if you're not playing. You can lead when you're on the bench. You can cheer super loud. You can be supportive. And like, I think that's what people forget. We're all so competitive. We all want to play all the time. But you can still be a leader whether you're a freshman or you're a fifth year. You can be a leader whether you play or you don't. And as long as you're working hard, like as long as you can get respect, like you're working hard, you're showing up on time every day and you're being a good person, people will respect you and listen to you no matter what age you are, no matter how talented you are. And I think people forget that. And that's something that I learned every single season. I was in a different position playing and in my different phase of my life. And I learned so much on and off the court. And of course I was coached by Stein and Jenny and all of our volunteers. Jose was our last one. And then I had Mike Seeley indoor. I mean, I was coached by incredible people. So I learned pretty much I do private lessons. Yeah. Pretty much all I coach on the beach is just regurgitation of Stein and Jenny and all the volunteer assistants we had. So I was so lucky to be, not only learn my lessons off the court, but everything I know is from them, and it has helped me so much.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've known about Southern California since the 90s when I went to Cal Poly, and everybody from Southern California and San Diego was so much better than me and so far ahead because the coaching down here for ages has been so top level, you know, and it's amazing.
It's a spot to be. We're in Southern California. Everyone wants to be here, but it's expanding. It's growing. Yeah.
Oh, look at Jason.
Uh-oh. You pull something up?
So good.
Oh, is this me? What year is this? That's my junior year, I think. Little ball over the top. I was blocking.
You could look at this screen over here.
Partner, Leah. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay. Just a little highlight.
Oh.
Yep. See? I can block too if anyone needs a blocker. I don't have points, but if you need a blocker too, I can. Oh, that's awesome. Love that.
So much
Thanks for
fun.
pulling that up.
Jason's the best.
Throwback.
Yeah.
The good old days.
So wait, what year was that?
That was my junior year.
Junior year?
Yeah, because I was split blocking with Leah.
Okay.
I think she transferred in my junior year.
Gotcha.
Yeah. She transferred from Hawaii.
Oh.
She's from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, so we played together, and she in Gulf Shores after our first match, she fainted.
Oh gosh.
Just dehydration, and so they didn't clear her to play. So someone had to step in. Maddie Yeoman, she stepped in, and we played the rest of the games, it was a whole crazy thing. But our team was so deep that you could bring anyone up, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like we were just so talented that year. It was unbelievable. It was this year with like the McNamara twins, Zana, Izzy Carey, and Sarah Sponsel. Those were our 5 seniors. It's like, can you beat that group? Yeah. You really can't. It was incredible. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Mm-hmm. So your back injury, tell me a little bit about like how did you come back from that? Or some of the like protocols. Yeah. The back is no joke.
Yeah, and we just, I did a lot. I would do like acupuncture and cupping, and they talked about surgery, but not doing that. And a lot of it was just like taking time off. And I still have back stuff, but I'm so used to it now, and I need to stretch more. Like everything's connected from all the PTs that I've seen. Yep. I have no ankle mobility. My hamstrings are so tight. My hips, like literally it just makes sense why my back hurts so bad all the time. But then I noticed that when I was playing indoor, it hurt way more.
Yes.
Because my sophomore, junior year of indoor, I had to play outside for a little bit, but I was wearing a back brace during indoor volleyball just to mostly to keep it warm. But I just noticed diving on the hard court, when you hit it, it's like the extension of leaning back, because that's what hurt, leaning back. But then diving too was so crazy. And on the beach, I do all these crazy weird dives, and it just. Yep. One day I was in a spasm and I was stuck, bent over, and I couldn't move. And so for like a week I was stuck like that. And then I'd come in practice, be modified. But that was another challenging. As a freshman, you're like, are you kidding me? I was actually playing. I was playing with Tori Van Winden, who's a beast. And I was so stoked. And just I had just come back from my suspension. I had so much to prove, and I think I went too hard in the weight room too, and I was lifting more than I should have been, trying to prove myself. I'm back. I want to be the best, and it was stupid. And another life lesson is don't push your body past its limits, because then you're going to be out longer. Like, if you need a day off, take a day off. And it's hard to do that in college.
It's so hard to do that in college.
Yeah.
And I was having that conversation with a couple of coaches, TCU coaches, and just talking about, I did the yoga nidra sessions when they were out here training, because I was telling the girls, I'm like, as competitors, we just want to keep going.
Exactly.
But
all of us do.
The injuries, and when you talk about ankle mobility, I'm having ankle surgery on February 14th.
Yeah.
So keep working those ankles.
Exactly.
Because it's no joke. And mine goes back 25 years now. I'll be the fourth surgery on my
It's so
foot.
gnarly.
And it is all connected, and it does all start with your feet.
Yep.
So it's but they know so much more now.
They do. Our trainers were incredible.
The first ankle surgery I had when I was 20, they said, we don't do PT for ankles, you just walk it off. And it all started there. So now what they know, and that's why I asked you about the protocols and the things that you do, because I think it's for younger athletes to know this stuff.
Well, most of the rehab I did with my trainer at UCLA, my athletic trainer, was I didn't do anything with my back. I would heat it, stim, cup it, but any of the rehab like workouts I did, it wasn't my back. It was like getting more mobile in my hips and my hamstrings and my ankles and like even my upper back. Like nothing was working my lower back. One, because it was irritated, but two, because it all came from other things.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything. So... And you're young and you don't really understand that.
And if you think about it, if you don't have ankle mobility and then you have that mid-back rotation, if you don't have that mid-thoracic rotation, it all lands in your lower back. And that's what...
And all we do as volleyball players is jump and land and jump and land, especially indoor. And it's just pounding. And then everything's so tight. And it's like, of course my back's going to spaz up. And it happens to so many girls.
Completely.
And so from my freshman year to my fifth year, I started just going in and... At a certain point, I wouldn't even look at my athletic trainer. I'd just go and, do my own workouts because I'd been doing it for 4 years. I'm like, I don't really need your help anymore. Like, I could do my thing, and she'd cup me and whatever, and we became best friends. That was another relationship I had.
Amen.
My athletic trainer, her name was Toral. We had a couple come in and out, but she was indoor and beach for a long time, and we were literally best friends because I was in there more than I think I was at practice or in the weight room. I was in there before practice, after games, everything. So, and we didn't even talk. Like, I could get on the massage table and she'd do all the stuff she had to do, and we would just talk about whatever else she did.
Yeah.
I knew the routine. Like, I knew when to roll over, and I knew when to, like, put my right leg up and do all the stuff because it was literally, like, clockwork. Well,
and it's the same thing as learning, a play in the game.
Exactly.
It's the same, like, that's the way our minds work.
Repetition,
and that discipline, though, the discipline to be a good patient and to do the stuff, because you can go in and have the practitioner do whatever, but if you won't do it off the court and in your life,
useless.
Day by day, forget about it. You can go throw down the money or spend the hours in the training room, and it makes no difference.
And that's the hard thing now. Like, now that I don't have I don't have a weight room. I don't have like a place to go do PT. I mean, I could. It's just expensive. I'm trying to pay rent. I'm trying to pay for flights, and so I have all these workouts. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, I practice to lift. I just want to go home and take a nap. When I should if I'm watching TV, why am I not on the floor stretching? And that's what I'm continuing to learn. I'm 23. I'm new on the tour, and I see all these women warming up, doing these crazy band things and all this stuff, and I'm like, maybe I should start doing that stuff. Like, they know what they're doing. They've been playing for years. And so I'm continuing to learn and grow. And yes, I can get away with a lot of stuff. Same with my game. I'm athletic enough to get away with stuff. But at this next level, there's so much more I need to learn. Whether it's, how to be more deceptive on my shots, how to be able to look. Like, I mean, I have a list of things I need to work on. It's... Every day I'm like, I need to work on that. Like, I need, and I just have to write it down. But there's so much to continue to learn. That's why I think people like April Ross, who are older and have experience, are so freaking good, because they have experience. Yeah. Like, I can only be, my athleticism can only take me so far. I have to get smarter on and off the court, take care of my body, make sure I'm, do I really need that glass of wine tonight with dinner? No, probably not. Like, just stuff like that.
And you're 23 and asking these questions. So first of all, let me just tell you, you're asking the questions, you're ahead of the game. Yeah. But you've also risen to a level that asks you.
You have to
do that.
And I mean, I got the Aura ring. I know when I have a couple beers, I sleep terrible.
Isn't it insane?
Yeah. It's
The
technology is insane.
This is the best wellness tool I have ever invested in. The Aura ring. This thing is...
It's blowing up too.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And I've had mine.
I have one too.
The first time we walked, I met her and I was like, oh, yeah, like mine. This thing is amazing.
Yeah, it's big. Like, it takes a little bit to get used to, but...
And how foundational is your sleep as an athlete?
Well, and I know too, like, okay, I used to think if I was getting up at 6, I needed to be in bed by 10. Yeah. But then I'm only sleeping 6 hours. I'm in bed for 8, but I'm sleeping like 6 and a half. So now I've been going to bed. If I have nothing to do at like 8 at night, I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I get like, I'm in bed for 11 hours. I sleep for like 9. My recovery's like
through
way
the
better.
roof. Yeah. So, are you paying attention to your REM and deep sleep?
Yes, my deep sleep's terrible.
Is it?
Terrible. I think my REM might be worse, actually. I'm in light sleep so much. And that's even when I'm in a dark room. I think a lot of it's being on my phone.
Yeah, that's the hardest one to give up.
Thing that I haven't
the blue light,
stopped.
like 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. They say, like, are you really? We're not going to look at our phone.
I mean, I have a long distance boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm on FaceTime as I'm falling asleep. Like, I'm looking at my phone all the time, and that's I should pick up a book and read a book, but it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it is hard, and it's hard to get every little thing right. And I always tell people, like, if you're tracking, and I know as a professional athlete, like, it's hard for people to track more than 2 or 3 things because you can kind of spin out and it'll give you a lot of anxiety or like nobody's ever going to get it perfect, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I've noticed like sleep is the foundation of everything.
It's huge. Sleep and so I started working on that. I got this because I was so tired all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm improving my sleep. Like, I know, like, I need to not drink. I need to be in bed a certain amount of time, dark room, cold enough. Like, I'm learning all these things, which is amazing. So traveling's a bit tough. The next step is my diet. Yep. Because I love food.
Me too.
I love food.
Me too. Like, what's your favorite?
That's a tough.
Like last meal.
Oh, I love steak, like a nice steak with mashed potatoes and some...
This one, when Jay and I were traveling, like, he's always like, we got to go find a steakhouse. So
it's my favorite.
I'm right there with you.
My favorite. But I also love, like, I'll go get some pizza. I love sushi. I love Italian. I love getting a burrito. Like,
I'm currently on the carnivore diet thing.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I had a meat militia guy and this extreme savage, high genius, highly intellectual person, and I'm trying it for a month.
So it's just meat. That's it.
Yep.
So what do you eat for breakfast? Like a sausage or anything?
Yeah.
Or even a steak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Egg bites or
I think
whatever.
my 14-year-old's on that diet too. And not even trying.
Yeah.
Wendy, also, I pulled up an article. You guys might want to read the first part of why you shouldn't look at your cell phone if you go to bed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's up for everybody to see. Just take a peek at it.
Yeah.
This is reason number 1. Just thought I'd share this with you guys.
Yeah, keeps your mind psychologically engaged. Yeah, smartphone.
Shaking your phone stimulates the brain so we're more active and awake.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I don't get into a deep sleep. And like, it's on the Aura ring, it tells you like you're awake, you're in REM, whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm in light sleep for like 5 or 6 hours. I'm like, why can't I get into a deep sleep? But it's probably because of that.
You guys also mentioned the blue light.
The blue lights, yeah.
So here's something for the audience, just the audience to read or whatever. Just take a peek at as you guys continue. As you guys continue to dialogue, you can continue talking.
Yeah, no, it suppresses melatonin, which is the hormone that helps us fall asleep and stay asleep.
Yeah.
But since I got my Aura ring, I had a night the other night. I was over 2 hours of deep sleep.
That's huge.
And you feel...
I think the most I've gotten is like an hour.
Yeah.
Hour-ish, because that's always what's red on my thing. That and REM is always low. And I'm awake, like, rolling around, and when I travel, it's worse. Since I've been in my own bed, I've been traveling for like 2 months, just all over the place, having fun. And
because routine is huge for athletes and for anybody, but it plays into that.
Yeah, but the diet...
And then the diet rolls off of the sleep.
Well, yeah, I have to make sure I'm eating not 5 minutes before I go to sleep, because then I'm...
that's another huge one with that readiness score is like, not eating too close to bedtime.
And eating right. Like, I'm the type that, like, I'll go get In-N-Out and then come back and eat a pint of ice cream and have, like, I feel fantastic after.
Being 23 is so great.
It's... Yes, but I need... If I want to be at the next level.
Yes.
I need to be
I
better about it. And I think there's a time and a place, and that's the hardest part for me is balancing this stuff. Like, when I'm in my off season, go out with my friends, go have fun, go eat a burger, go eat 6 pieces of pizza. I can do that easily. I can eat 6 pieces of pizza like this quick. Like, I love eating. But now, you know, I was just traveling a bunch. I went home for the holidays and stuff and was in Mexico and all this stuff. And now that I'm back and it's late January, my first event is like March-ish. AVP schedule hasn't come out yet, probably April. This is the perfect time now for me to like really lock it down. And I think as long as I surround myself with people who are doing the same thing, which a lot of us are, it's really helpful. But I also that's the part that I'm trying to figure out is I am 23, but I have these crazy goals. So how can I balance being 23, but being a professional athlete that's competing at the highest level? I'm not the type of person to show up to practice and be super serious. I want to laugh and have fun, but also be intentional and get what I need to get done. Like that's important to me, but I'm not going to change myself. And I think a lot of people may lose sight in who they are because they have these goals. But I think if I go to a competition and I'm like, this is my job, I need to make money, and I play like that, I'm not going to perform. I need to play because I love it. God. But that's I'm learning. I'm learning.
It is, and you're riding the razor's edge of figuring out what your
because everyone's
personal
different.
best is,
everyone's
right?
Is different.
And it's like I can watch players now. I've gotten to a stage where like my body maybe has never been able to do what you guys have been trained to do, but you can tell when a player is playing free. That's my favorite thing to watch. It is the most beautiful thing for a spectator to just be like, that person is out there. They are so in flow because they're free. And you're not, when you're locked down or you have this expectation of yourself. And have you ever seen, Jay, there's a Netflix that's it's a Marty Fish. It's a sports documentary and it's about tennis, but he was an amazing tennis player. I think it was like back in the early 2000s. And it's a story of him and Andy Roddick, who Roddick was, always up there. And Marty Fish was like his practice partner. And it goes through like his complete battle of getting all the way up to number 1 in the world, but what he lost. And he literally went into this state of anxiety. He had to walk out of center court. He lost complete joy for the game. And that Marty Fish documentary for any athlete, like I was mesmerized by how honest he was and that journey of like figuring out, because at one point he was traveling the world and playing tennis and he wasn't at the top, but he was playing professional and playing free and making money. And he's like, I was that guy. I wanted to make friends but then he got himself in and he was like, I dialed it in and went all the way to 1, but his mental game came crashing down because every little thing was weighing on him.
The mental side of
it's a huge question,
and we all deal with.
And there's so much talk of it now, right? Because we watched it through the Olympics and all the, the mental health has become such a prominent
even
conversation.
In college too, throughout the years, I've noticed that the coaches have shifted, which is incredible. From like when I said maybe you want to take a day off when it's hard in college, they made this thing where you can have like a personal day.
Yes.
And if you needed a mental health break, and I went through a phase my junior year, and Jenny Johnson helped me so much through it when I was just having this crippling anxiety, not even because of volleyball. I don't really know why. I genuinely think there's some hormonal thing going on. But I couldn't leave my bed. Like, I couldn't get on the airplane. Like, I was a mess. But they were so understanding. Because I think it's the stigma is not as bad. And I think it's more accepted. And especially with all these, like Simone Biles and all these athletes that are taking a stand. It's crazy. And I think it's just important to know, like, there's more to life than sports. And if you're not feeling it, you have to take time to heal. Just as you would take time to heal an injury, you have to take time to heal your mind.
Yeah. And there's not always that time in a traditional athlete schedule. So if you recognize that point in yourself, know that it's okay to step away because you're not going to have it as a full-time student and a full-time athlete. You're not going to have that time in your schedule to heal. So know when you need to step away from it. Even if, redshirt year or whatever you need, like you got to take that because it's a long life. And I mean, I was out, I've been out playing I play 2 or 3 times a week with people that are in their, 50s and the court next to me, these guys are in their 70s. Like, it's not the same, But you get to do this stuff for the rest of your life if you take
That's
care
the
of
coolest
yourself.
part about this sport is
It
you
is
can
so
do it
awesome.
for years. My mom still plays. And
Totally.
I was just in Mexico doing one of those volleyball vacations, and I had people on my court that were 72 and crushing it. I'm like, I hope I'm that good.
Yep.
Was that SOB?
It was SOB. Yeah. So I did one of Albie's things in Turks and Caicos. They're different and they're amazing, and I would love to continue to do that for decades. Like it's something that you can keep doing and seeing people play because people are there because they love it.
Yeah.
And I just think that we're all, when I came on tour this past summer, I was asking all these people, like, what do I need to do? Like, what are the steps to take? And everyone's like, it's your own journey. Like, you have to figure it out, and people can, and I'll invite you to practice. That's a huge step. Just getting my name out there, getting invited to a practice is a big deal. But everyone's process is so different. And so, where I'm at 23, hopefully I'm still playing in 10 years or more. I might not be the same person when I'm 33, but at least where I am right now, I love the game, and I'm doing it because I love it. And like, paying rent every month is tough. Like, my family's not funneling me money. Like, I don't get any money. So I'm out there coaching and doing what I can and trying to save and stuff. But I think that's why a lot of people do it. Because they love it. And like if people on the tour did it because they wanted to make money, like they probably wouldn't be playing on the AVP tour. Like it's not enough to have a family and be super well off unless you're at the top.
Yeah.
Where I'm at, I'm like, I can pay rent, buy groceries, and maybe travel here and there. That's pretty much it. But I love it. And so I just think it's just a constant battle of trying to find the balance of enjoying the game, enjoying your life, but also being a professional, being competitive, being serious. And there are times where I come in and I'm too la-di-da, and I get my ass kicked. And that's the first thing you learn. Like, you can't come in like, oh, this is fun. Like, people are out to destroy you on the court. And off the court, it's cool. Yeah. You're cool. I think I just play my best when I'm in that flow. I'm cheering, and the best compliment I get is when people watch me and they come up after. People will compliment me on my game or whatever it is, but my favorite thing to hear is, I just loved how much fun you were having. I loved seeing you smile. And that makes me happy because I'm like, I was genuinely happy, and the fact that people can see that is great. And I want to inspire, I'm coaching younger girls. I want to inspire these girls that going through the recruiting process is so scary and it's so gnarly.
Grueling.
And just keep remembering, like, you're doing it. And like, if I didn't play volleyball and get a scholarship, I don't know if I would have gone to college. Like, there are certain things where maybe this does give you the best opportunity in life, but if you're competing for that reason, it's too stressful, too much pressure. You have to take that off and remember why you love it. And that's something that I think, and we're in practice, we lose sight of that every day.
And that's another thing. It sounds like it comes genuinely from you, even though your mom was a player and your dad was an athlete, a competitor. It comes from you.
I love it.
And that is something I see out there all the time. It's like the love of the game, to go to the next level, to play in college, it has to come from the athlete. And you see that problem so much these days where it's the parent's dream and not the kid's dream.
Exactly.
And it's just too much time and too much effort if you don't love it.
Exactly.
But you clearly do.
I do. I really do.
A little quick plug for volleyball vacations.
Yes.
SOB. I sound like I'm lightening the mood. But I figure I should plug them. South of the Border Vacations is basically they invite 6 pros to do clinics, scrimmages, and stuff like that. It'll be for any volleyball enthusiasts. It's probably the single best vacation you'll ever take in your life, even whether you choose SOB or not. But SOB is the one I chose. It's very, very good, guys.
That could be that might be my return from ankle surgery goal.
I did SOB.
Do the pre-one. Do the pre-one in Carmel. We have a pre-one.
I know.
In Carmel,
I was supposed to go with you this year.
Thing.
I couldn't. That's when my back was bad. Yeah.
I did that one, and then I did the one in Turks and Caicos, run by different people, and they're totally different. And I loved each of them in their own different ways, and I hope I can continue to get invited to go back to them.
Heck yeah.
It's incredible, and it just reminds you, like, I go out there and you're so tired because you're in the sun all day, and then you're socializing with the guests, but then you watch them play, and like, those people are paying a lot of money to go to these all-inclusive resorts because they literally love volleyball so much.
There does not sound like a more fun vacation to me.
And we facilitate playing, like whether it's tournament or clinic, like at least 5 or 6 hours a day. And there's people that are out there before we start, in between sessions, and after we finish, all day for like 6 days straight.
Yep.
They do it. They just love it. Like they literally love it. And a lot of them have jobs where they have to go back and sit at a desk all day. And so it's such a great outlet for them to go be outside, be in the sun. We're in Mexico or Turks and Caicos, wherever we are. It's incredible. And so that was so refreshing for me going. I just got back from that on this past Saturday. And it was so refreshing for me to go and do that. And I did one in December as well, right kind of when season was ending. And it's so eye-opening, and it just really makes you appreciate the sport. And like, what other sport is there where you, like, the pros, I have a hard time calling myself a pro, but I guess I am now. I gotta own it. But it's weird. It's weird.
You gotta own it.
It's weird. But the pros are on vacation with these random guests. It's just like an incredible thing.
That's like the definition of playing volleyball on Hermosa Beach. I'm sitting here on a court full of moms, and we have the Olympians are training next to you. Yes. And you're like, if I can just grab one thing from that court, it's like going to be a huge win for me today. But it is so inspiring to have that community, and there's not another sport where you can say that, where everyone, regardless of level, is cool. And also, like, producing huge things off the court. And that's part of what I'm loving about my new venture is, like, I want to celebrate the things, because we don't play volleyball because the money's in it. So, yeah, you got to go out and you have to produce and do other things. Yeah. But there's all these companies and people that are lifting up the sport and people who are playing the sport.
Which is huge for us.
Which is huge. So, like, the groundswell of trying to create that in a different way. Because if the money's not coming fast enough in the sport, what can we do underneath it to, like, create that economy that supports the players and gets these stories out there, and then teaches the juniors how to come up loving the game and get to the age where Jason and I are, and even older, and still love to play. Yep.
And that's the hard part right now, and I love the game, and that's I might get into now more of kind of the struggle of what I'm struggling with in this. But at the end of the day, I do it because I love it. And I have to just keep reminding myself of that, because you don't make a lot of money. So you have to, the hardest thing for me is the social media thing. And I have a social media following because I went to UCLA, but I'm not actively on there all the time. And I'm trying to figure out, everyone is trying to figure out their thing. Like the McKibben brothers are killing it, doing what they're doing. Everyone has their own little thing that they do. And I'm still trying to figure out what's best for me, whether that's just to get my name out there more, to get sponsors, to make more money, whatever it is. But same thing with the phone. I don't want to be on my phone all the time. I want to be outside and be active and, like, have these relationships. But a big part of our sport right now is the social media. Yeah. And that's one of the struggles that I personally have. Some people are killing it, and I think at a certain point I will get there. I'm not sure what my unique little thing is going to be on that. So that's one of the hard things about it.
I can totally feel you on that. And I think I've had that struggle myself. And the best thing I can say to you is I have finally hit a point where, one, screw the algorithm. Who freaking cares?
I don't even
know
what I don't either. I'm like, I'm so behind in all these things.
I've never read one thing on it. You just, like, you hear people talk about it. But the truth is, when you are, and I haven't even looked at yours too much, but, like, you post when you feel like it. When you're authentically yourself, it starts to become part of it, but I truthfully think you only let in what just feels right to you.
Well, and I feel like people are going to follow me and support me and like what I'm doing if it's authentic. Absolutely. I don't want to feel forced, like, I have to post 3 times a week. Yeah. I don't have that much content either. Maybe if I start doing my own thing. Yeah. But I want to be, like, my goal is to come up with something that I genuinely enjoy doing and post once a week or whatever. Yeah. And I hope that people see, like, if I'm doing it because I genuinely like doing it and I post it because it's fun and it was easy for me, I'll get the followers that I need to get. Yeah. Like, people don't want to see me being fake. Like, people don't want to see all the fake captions or whatever. And I think everyone's account is different. Like, we were just talking about Zana. Zana posts the funniest stuff ever, and her captions are hilarious. And, like, that's just her. And, like, she's a great following. And other people are going to do their own things. And so I think we all kind of, same thing. We have to find our way off the court as well. And it's the same thing that it's for the partner thing. That's the biggest thing for me right now is this shit show of partnerships. Yeah. I'm 23. I have no points. Yeah. I have some AVP points, no FIVB points. I'm just sitting here working my ass off and trying to get better with whoever I'm training with. and just hoping that people see the hard work I'm putting in and see the improvements I'm making. So I've been playing a bit with Tony. We're both in the same position. We don't have any points.
Yeah.
We have these big goals, and we're working so hard. And whether we play together or not, I keep telling her, and she's, it's so easy to, same thing, the mental side, getting wrapped up in all, I need to play with someone who has points and this, that. And at a certain point, yes, but you have to just, like I said, everything's going to happen for a reason, as long as, in my mind, I'm working hard on and off the court to be the best version of myself. I'm making these connections. I'm being a good person.
Yes.
And I am doing the effort to reach out to people and say, hey, I know I don't have points for this, but maybe you give me a shot or what. And I'm going to get set. People are going to say no to me way more than they're going to say yes.
Yep.
But as long as I have a good attitude and I don't let that get to me and I continue to play because I love it, not because of the certain partner I want, it's all going to work out how it's supposed to. And I think you just got to keep reminding yourself of that.
And it comes with high highs and huge heartbreak and
I got my
all
heart
of that.
crushed.
Yeah.
I got bailed on this summer, misunderstanding, and this happened and I'm so sensitive because I come off like super tough, and I don't care what people think, but I'm a softie.
This is
I'm
true.
the softest person ever. So
You mentioned Tony before. Is that Tony from LSU?
yeah,
Rodriguez.
Yeah, so she moved out here, and she's only played beach for 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And she's just going like this. And that's one person I have like the greatest chemistry with. And we kind of talked about, we're like, look, we love playing together, but if one of us gets an opportunity to play with someone bigger, better, more points, we do it.
Take it.
But it's also and we all want to play with someone who has points, because that'll help us
How you get
improve our game and go
going.
get FIVB stuff. And so, as much we love each other, and it's the same with me with other people too. Like I'm training with any girl right now that will ask me to play, because I like being well-rounded. I like playing with all these different people. And I want a shot. I want these bigger name girls to see people like me and Tony and people of our age working hard and improving, and be like, I want to give that girl a shot and get her some points, and like, I believe in her, and I want to take the young buck and go. But right now, we don't know what the season's going to look like, and so I've seen a lot of partner stuff that's like just because of points.
Yeah.
When the chemistry's not there at all, like you hear partnership, you're like, that doesn't make sense. But you have a lot of points, and so you're going to be in the main draw, and that's how it is. And yeah, and like one really cool thing that Zana did for me for the Manhattan thing, I lost in the last round, and she came up to me and asked to play, and she didn't just say, I want to play with you. She said, I want to play with you because I've been in that struggle that you're in, and I want to get you some points, and I believe in you, and I think we could do great things. And I was like, that is so genuine, and that means so much to me, and I'm forever grateful to her and for that. And I'm
telling you, you felt that energy as a spectator.
Yes.
Like, I remember walking past that court, and I was like, what is going on there? Like, it really is for the entire sport.
And we just had fun. We didn't have the best finish. We split blocked. It was so hard, but it was fun.
This was in Manhattan.
Manhattan MVP this summer.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So fun to watch.
And she got me points, and she got me exposure, and she got me experience, and I got to work with her coach. And so that's kind of all what we're looking for. And if it comes down to, I'm going to be in the qualifier all summer, it is what it is. And, if someone turns me down to play, that gives me a little more fuel to the fire to go beat them and prove myself. And I'm not that type of girl. Like, I love everyone. But if you don't believe in me right now, I want to prove to you that you should believe in me. And I'm learning to be a little more cutthroat, though, because I'm not. I'm sensitive.
Oh my gosh.
And like,
so true. Okay, so I was playing this morning, and I was playing, literally my partner and I, she was like, Wendy, let's play mean. Like, the other two on the other side, they want to win so bad. And the soft one will work with the more competitive one, and then we switch it up, and so we're two nice ones, and she goes, let's just play mean. And it's like, when we walk off the court, we're all going to be laughing, and it doesn't even matter, but there is
girls
something
are sensitive.
to that. You're sensitive.
The guys it's easier for the guys to talk shit, and then off the court, it's whatever.
Right.
But even the men's side has this partnership drama and trying to figure out what's going on, and
It's worse.
But it I know it is. But at the end of the day, there's all these little crazy things that happen. But that's just life, and I think that's what makes it so exciting and so fun. Is like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm trusting it, and I'm going in blindly, and I'm just working hard and hoping that it's going to pay off, and I'm going to definitely have good seasons and bad seasons and this, and I'm trying to be mature about it, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Being very mature.
But again, it's all a learning experience, and there's going to be some years where I'm like, I'm not improving or I'm not learning anything, and then there's going to be some times like right now where I feel like I'm learning so much and I'm improving a lot and hearing all different feedbacks. Right now I'm playing with all these different players, all these different coaches, at all these different beaches, so I'm getting all of this information.
Huge.
And I'm just like trying to absorb as much as I can.
Well, and that's super mentally taxing. I was having that conversation with Taryn and Kristen the other day, and I was like, you know what? You guys go out, like you're always learning something new, right? And you always have that dip when you're learning something new. You know, you're breaking bad habits, learning a new way to handle something, and you kind of get worse before you get better, right?
Yep.
And you have to. None of us like to do that. But it's super mentally taxing. And I said, and Taryn was like, I never thought about that. It's hard to do, because I have the perspective of like, volleyball's my downtime.
Yeah.
Like that's my checkout. Like I'm just going to do what feels right. But that's where I've gotten, right? But where you guys are, it's always taxing on your brain.
It's our job. And there's days where
always taxing.
Well, there's days where I get asked to go play with people who are better than me. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go prove myself. And then, but if I want to actually improve and get better, so like I'm working on like vision stuff and holding on defense and all these things that I need to do to get better. Yeah. If I'm working on that stuff, I'm not going to be at my best, because I have to get worse before I actually can improve at that. And there might be a day where I get invited to go play with someone who's super rad and I want to go compete against, and I just have a shitty day. And I'm like, it's the worst day ever. Like, I wanted to go prove myself, but you just have to trust it's a process. It's not just one day. And, you hope that those people see you working on stuff, or they see you compete, or you get to the chance to play against them and you can go beat them, or at least hang with them. And so even though, people like Taryn and Kristen, like they're crushing it, but we're all 23, 24 years old. We still have so much to learn. And like for them, they don't have FIVB points. So what are they? It's totally, and everyone's process is so different. And like, I wish them the best. I wish everyone the best. I want everyone to be the best, because we all get better.
And you guys are the first generation coming out of this NCAA thing, and the level of competition for the women is gut wrenching. Yeah. I'm like, it is like, oh my goodness, like to see what's coming, like and look at the players above you and wonder why that sense of competition is there, because you guys are trained just to a T. Yeah. And it's so fun to watch, but now, with the point situation and everything, it's like you have all these young bucks that are so good and figuring out what to do with it.
The girls that are playing just beach, they can come in, they can go play in these AVP events in the summer, even though they're in college. For me, I played indoor, so I was doing summer school and like indoor, training and stuff. Like same with Sarah, same with Zana. So we all came into it with significantly less touches on the sand than a lot of these other girls do, because we missed out on any fall training in the sand, a lot of summer training, and even when we were in indoor beach season in the spring, we had to go to indoor practice at UCLA. Just a couple times a week or here and there. Our coaches were they worked really well together, so if we had a big competition, we wouldn't go to the indoor practice that day, but like we have way less touches in the sand than a lot of these other girls do. So we're playing catch up. And again, people like me, Zana, Sarah, coming from UCLA, like we have had our being athletic that we could rely on that. But then you get to this level and you're like, well, that's not going to work. Like I might get 1 or 2 days, make a crazy save, but I have to be more disciplined. I have to do all these different things. And so we're playing catch up all this time. And so, doing double days. I moved up here. I was commuting from San Diego, and I'm like, gosh, I want to save money, but I need to be here. So I got a spot. It's expensive. It's in the most rad location ever. And I'm stoked to be here, but that's a big chunk of change coming out of my pocket. So can I afford to go lift weights? Can I afford to pay for a coach? Because you need another set of eyes. I think a coach is so important.
Huge.
Weightlifting is so important. But I also think food is more important. I need to pay for my groceries, and I need to pay for these events to get so it's like prioritizing what's the most important for you. And hopefully I can keep getting sponsorships and keep working my way up the ladder, getting points, making more money when I compete, working super hard, coaching lessons, all this stuff, so I can be able to afford to do all of the things that are necessary. Because if I don't lift, and I don't have a coach, I'm not going to get to the highest level. But I also need to pay for these places and eat food and pay my rent, pay my utilities, and have a life. Go out to dinner sometimes. And so it's all finding the balance. So.
Yeah, there's no luxury in beach volleyball. Like, you are learning how to live life as an adult.
I'm scrapping.
You're scrapping, and you're learning. Those are all, like, the adult lessons. Like, okay, we're out of college and learning how to do all these things.
But we're, like, thrown right into it.
And you're thrown right into it.
There's no contract. There's no... No one's telling you what to do. No one's pushing you. Like, that's another hard part. But it's, again, if you can have the right mindset and all these struggles that we have, and you can turn it into a positive or something exciting, then it's so much more eye-opening, and it makes you play better at the end of the day. And that's
you
what
are
we're
like the poster child for growth mindset.
Thank
so
you. I'm trying.
You're rocking it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it shows when you play.
Thank you so much.
Sponsors. Who do you have right now?
So I got sponsored by Oakley, which is super awesome.
Rad.
They're great. And then I also signed a contract with a company called Centerpoint Securities down in San Diego. It's kind of like Wedbush is their kind of competition.
Okay.
But they're from San Diego, and I've worked with the guy's daughter a bit, and they give me a good chunk of money and some gear and stuff, so I'll be repping them, and that's a great first step. I need to keep getting more, but and that's just through connections. Being in San Diego, I got those too. You know, my play helps me. You know, how I did the summer helped me, but I had these connections, so I got to keep making. You never know who you're gonna meet that might help you.
True.
That's why I like.
But you genuinely connect with people. Like,
that's my favorite thing to do.
Me too.
Yeah.
And your eyes up, and I always say eyes up and heart open, and you're like, such good things happen.
Yeah.
Like, you just even
just
sometimes when you have to be patient. But good things happen.
Yep. And I think the best things happen at the most unexpected times. Like, if I need a sponsor right now, it's not gonna happen. If I want to try to find a partner right now, it's not going to happen. So I just got to keep doing my thing, and at the least expected time, something's going to come up, and I got to be ready for it. So, but those are my two sponsors right now, which is super awesome. And I'm obviously trying to get more here and there. The contract stuff is super scary. My first contract, I'm like, what am I reading? Yeah. This is not English.
Like, guidance, anyone?
So I sent it off to a family friend of ours who reviewed it and stuff. But it was scary, and that's another part of it that, you know, now I'm competing, not just for myself, not just for my family, for this company that supports me. Yeah. But I can't go compete like, I have to do good because they support me. Yeah. They support me no matter what happens. As long as I'm working hard, I got to just keep playing because I love it. Keep playing for the younger girls watching, my family who supports me, all these different things because it's fun, because I'm in a bikini in Manhattan Beach at the beach.
Living
like, how can I? It doesn't get much better than that.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
But that was a big that was a big step for me, is like signing a contract. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it's crazy, but got to dive in. And I had a lot of support from, you know, my family. My family supports me tremendously, and they want this for me, and they want me to just do what I can. So they're gonna help the best they can. And I had some family friends to go over that stuff, but. It's nerve-wracking, but it's more exciting. Like,
and it goes to show you that, like, that support really, honestly, comes down to so much more than financial, right? So what you get from your family is so huge. It's
huge. Like, they keep me. I call my parents all the time, and they come to every event. They did in college too. Like,
I love it.
Any money they spend is towards me and my siblings. Like, they don't do anything for themselves. That's how I know they love us, because they don't do, like, I'm like, when's the last time you guys went out and had like a date night? They're like, years. I'm like, you guys need to go to a nice dinner and, like, treat yourself and, like, go, because they spend all of their money flying to our events or, like,
are your siblings athletes too?
Yeah. So, well, my sister, she played soccer and volleyball, but she goes to Santa Barbara now, and she's a biology major. She's going to be a doctor. She's just legit. And I mean, we had that talk. She didn't want to play volleyball. She wanted to play soccer. And it got to the point where it was kind of like, does she decide to go or not? I'm like, if you don't love soccer like I love volleyball, you shouldn't play in college. And she's smart enough to get in. So she got into Santa Barbara. Okay. She's thriving. She loves it. My brother was a lacrosse player. He's 19. Okay. And he decided to go the route my dad took. He graduated high school, thank goodness. Yeah. And he doesn't go to school now, but he's super into like NFTs.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
Crypto.
Oh my, yeah. So he's a smart cookie, and if you want to get in on the front end of that,
yes,
like,
and that's his thing right now. And he works with my dad. I think he's gonna be better than me.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna do better than all of us. We just gotta trust that he's gonna do his thing, because he'll sit on the computer all day, and I'm like, are you doing a class? Like, are you taking like community college class? He's like, no, I'm just doing some research on NFTs, and here's my they're like, do these digital pictures. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that? And it's just
no.
sitting in his account worth like thousands and 1000s just like sitting there, and he's doing his research. I'm like, you're going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
he played lacrosse. We all just, so that was tough for my parents to see, like, okay, it's just, we all did different things, and mine was more similar to like what they did, go and play sports.
Yeah.
And my sister was easy to trust because she's so smart and she's got her shit together. My brother was a little bit more tricky.
Yeah.
But as long as they trust him and we all support him, like, he's probably going to be better off than all of us doing what he does. And my dad loves it because it
It
that's what my
resonates.
dad
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And so they work together a lot. But it's cool to see how we all did such
Well, I think
different
that's
things.
a huge thing in parenting. So you're to honor who your child really is. Like, I
It's a
had one
struggle
who quit
sometimes,
volleyball,
but yeah.
you know, and I watch her on the stage now, and I'm like, okay, good job for letting that happen, because it was just, you know, it's the struggle within my own mind. Like, I want her competing. I went, well, she's crushing it,
Exactly.
doing something different,
And she's
Then
happy.
happy,
And you're happy.
Yes.
And it just, life is better.
I have learned to tell my kids, as long as you're not telling me that I have to quit playing volleyball, we're good.
Then we're fine.
Then we're fine.
We'll be good.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so our family dynamic has been awesome. We're super close. I can go to San Diego anytime.
Yeah.
I've never left Southern California, so sometimes I'm like, I need to get out and do some stuff.
But you're going to get to travel with all this
I'm going to
stuff.
travel all the
It's
time.
coming.
And I need to be here. And I went to UCLA because I didn't want to leave home. And I'm here, and I love being this close because I can continue to have a good relationship with my family, and they can come watch me whenever. Like, I'm going to some event in March. It's on AVP. It's like a 10K person in Dallas. And I'm like, Mom, I'm going to this thing. And she's like, oh my gosh, should me and Dad come, like, should we come out? And I'm like, if you want. It's not some big thing, but if and they would spend money to go watch because they love seeing me compete, and they love seeing me do what makes me happy because it makes them happy. So
Amen.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So great.
Yeah.
So we can start to wrap it up here.
I know, I could talk all day,
I
so
could
you got to
too.
cut me
these
off
are
at
my
some
no
point.
these are I know Jason's got Sports Debate Tuesday coming on pretty quick here. He's no?
Did it?
Oh, you already did it. Sorry, I thought it was after
I did
this.
it yesterday.
Oh.
I went through a kind of a severe bout of depression because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. So
Oh, Jay, we could go
between
over
that and this noggin,
so
on my
with
upper
you.
lip or whatever, I'm like, let me just do this before I feel
about
worse.
the NFL overtime rules, we could do that too.
But I have a highlight. I have an insane rally with you guys. I'd like to put up.
Put it
before
up.
you guys
Let's
wrap
do
up.
it.
Is it from this summer? I think it's like the super long rally.
Yeah, it was a Megan Rice and Sarah Skirmahorn.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Oh, I love
I think we won longest rally this.
Oh, yeah? Okay, here we
in
go.
This tour. Yeah, it's good stuff. I was literally dying. I was so tired, but it was so fun. This was a night game too, so it was like the crowd was awesome, and I think I've played at night only a couple times, but it was super fun.
Oh my! Turn. There she goes. Oh,
My legs are. I can't
on
move.
fire,
Yep.
right? Yep. Oh, what
Get
a
up.
dig! What a dig!
And look at their digs.
Oh
I'm like, are you
my
kidding me?
gosh! Incredible.
There was like 33 something
comes-
touches or something. Like, it was insane.
This is beautiful.
Oh, it's so fun. I watch it all the time.
Okay,
I'm like,
what
it's so
city is
fun.
that
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
Atlanta was sick. It was so hot. I thought I was gonna die.
yeah. I mean,
but it was in like a tennis stadium.
Jay,
They
that was
brought
awesome.
sand in, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Playing in Manhattan is, you can't beat it. Like, I just think Manhattan Open's incredible.
It
But I've
is.
only done those 3 and then Chicago. But Atlanta, just the energy was so cool. But I played Sponsel and Clay's like 3:30 the first day, and Sarah was like, it was hotter than Tokyo, and that was like insane. Yeah, she was like, I was way more
Humid
tired.
and humid. So
Yeah,
you're like,
and we went to
oh.
3 sets. Of course, it was an absolute battle. Like, we came out on top. It was a crazy thing, but the weather, and that's something that we don't get here, is the humidity training.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you go to these places, which is pretty much everywhere in the world is hotter and more humid than here.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere
we
in
have
the country.
the ideal weather.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
they have a New York AVP. I don't know if they will this year, but I've heard incredible things about it, and I really hope they do. Yeah,
They should.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's the goal.
They should. That's volleyball malpractice if they don't have it in New York City.
Yeah.
They spent all this time building that new facility that made it easier as far as accessibility is concerned for people to get in and out, and it was an absolute win. And this isn't my podcast. Maybe you can we could talk about like the
I'll
setup
hop on with you again.
and the turnout and all that stuff and my involvement. I was coaching Jeff Samuels at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love watching this guy coach.
I know.
He figures out some cool stuff.
I love it.
Real
I love
quick.
it. Yeah.
Very good set of eyes.
Yeah, but I hope they have
strong
some cool
personalities.
Yeah.
It's true. I feel like all of us have huge personalities,
Yep.
and we're all just here.
Samuel.
We could literally talk all day, the three of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's awesome. I met him this summer too.
I can't
super
listen
sweet.
to one of my favorite country songs without thinking of him on that karaoke.
What song is it?
Oh my gosh, Good Directions.
That's
Billy
so
Currington.
good. That's such a
Isn't it
good
Billy Currington?
song.
I think.
Yes.
Okay,
it
so
is.
he posts Jeff Samuels doing karaoke to that song. I'm like, okay, I know you guys are all out doing karaoke. I never would have picked that song
Yep.
for you. So ever since then,
That's
I'm like,
so awesome.
it's such a good memory. I'm so glad you posted that because.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So.
I love that.
I kind of warned against it because, like, volleyball players, they do this one thing better than everybody, so they assume they can do everything else. And Jeff was like, "I can sing," and I'm like,
No way.
"No, you can't.
No way.
Don't do that."
Jay can
Don't-
sing, by the way.
Well, there's levels
Yeah.
to that, so I'm gonna
He
just
can sing.
keep me out of that. But Jeff, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
And it came out of left field.
It gave, I watched.
was, like,
I
actually legit
rewatched it.
at
Oh my
singing.
gosh, I rewatched it like a couple of times. It
was-
was legit for sure.
Do you still have the video?
So,
Oh, it's on your Facebook.
fuck on that long ass wall.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We don't
There's
need to
no
pull it
way
up
to
now, but I want to see it
Yeah.
at some point because
Well, okay,
now
yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for
Are you a
it.
country
but
music fan?
I love country music.
I mean, we really kind of are kindred
We
spirits,
really
by
you
the
are
way.
my
Yeah.
spirit animal. It's meant to be.
I love it.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much though for having me. Like I said, I could talk all day about
yeah,
everything,
well,
and I'm sure
we'll
we'll
do
do
it
more
some
of
more.
this.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here with you and you, Jason. Like this is
Thank you for being so
seriously
open.
incredible.
That
Of
is like my
course.
favorite thing.
Yeah.
I think the more that people are willing to tell their stories, everybody realizes that we're all going through it.
No one's perfect.
No
we
one's
all got our
perfect.
own shit that we're going
Yep.
through.
And
Yep.
pretending like it's not there doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I credit you at your age for being able to do that. I think it's
Thank
going to
you.
help you athletically and also in life.
Thank you so much. That means a
So, if you have what's your takeaway to the younger generation? Like, what would you say to a juniors player coming up? Because that is just
Yeah.
where my heart
Kind
is.
of my
so
whole
much.
message. It's super general. Like, I mean, if anyone has any questions, I'm always open to discuss that stuff. But like I said this whole time, is just enjoy the process. I miss the recruiting process. It was crazy, but like felt like so long ago. And now college went by so quick. So just, and a lot of, even going through COVID and stuff, my family was healthy. We made it through. We're still dealing with it, but just continuing to remember that, like, you're playing a sport and it's meant to be fun, and just keep enjoying the process, keep having fun, and just keep being grateful for the opportunities you have. You're healthy. You're able to play beach volleyball. Like, not many people can say that. And you're able to be, like, whether you're on the beach or not, you're playing in a facility, you're healthy enough to go play. And that's a huge thing that we forget. Like, I complain about the partners, and I'm tired and it's expensive. I am physically and mentally able to go play a sport that I love, and I have a healthy family, and I have healthy friends, and I'm living in an amazing place. And I think people get caught up in their own little world, and it's so easy to. And so just keep reminding yourself, like, it's you're always gonna, when it's hard, you're gonna get through it. With my anxiety, there was times where I was having this crippling anxiety for months and months and months. I'm like, I'm gonna live like this for the rest of my life, and I'm doing great now. I'm sure there'll be another time where I go through it again, but I've been able to overcome that.
We could do a whole show on just talking about the tools to come through that, because
Exactly.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
We'll
do
it. Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, and it's everybody. It's so prevalent, and it's coming up through athletes, the younger athletes.
Yeah.
There's so the tools, and my hat's off to you for being really transparent about that and
sure.
just walking through it, because
Thank you.
it's not easy.
Like you said, it gets worse before it ever gets better, and you have to take things head on. And so I guess I have a lot of I have a lot of
beautiful
messages, but
takeaways,
just
no.
have fun, enjoy life. It goes by quick. I know I'm 23. I have so much life to live, but it's already, like, just my college experience was so fast, and so I just keep reminding myself, like, it's all gonna fly by, and I'm gonna look back at my volleyball career and be like, wow, I did that, and I can't believe it's already over. And I probably hopefully play volleyball till I'm dead.
You will.
And that's exactly. But enjoy the process. Keep having fun. Keep making friends. That's been my favorite part about the sport, is the friends I've made and the connections I have and the people I get to hang out with. So do that, and just keep smiling, and know that it's always gonna get better when you're down. There's always a way out of it. So
Absolutely.
And I'm here to talk to anyone who has questions.
That's the last question. Like, where can people find you? What's the best place to?
I mean, my Instagram's just Savvy Simo, SAVVYSIMO. I'll be better at checking my DMs. I'm like not on it that much, so I got to be better about it. But I'm open to discuss anything, whether it's the recruiting process or what was my college experience like, or what the mental side of things. How are things going now? I mean, I still have so much to learn. But if anyone has questions, I'm an open book. I'll talk about whatever. No, I'm very comfortable, and I want everyone to be comfortable in their own skin and comfortable with the stuff that they deal with. So find me there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
For this
was
conversation.
amazing.
Fantastic.
It was so easy. I mean, I could do
it's
this
a
conversation.
It's
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But thank you for having us as well. This is
Jason,
an incredible
with
spot.
all of this scary technical stuff.
It's incredible. My gosh, follow his podcast.
No, the option.
Yes.
Jay and he's been doing it.
Got some savage moments coming up this weekend.
We're ready for it.
Absolutely.
So I'll warn ahead of time. It may not be for everybody, but it's cool.
Well, maybe for some people. I like that. That's good. You're not gonna please everyone. So
nope. Another good
exactly.
takeaway for
Exactly.
sure.
Well, thank you guys.
This
is
thank
awesome.
you.
Of course.
We'll talk again soon.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining us for the What I Meant to Say podcast. For more real conversations like this one, come on over to the Be Better community at www.bebetterwithwendyjones.com, a place for athletes and parents to grow and find meaning behind what we do every day so that we can be strong on our own and better together.